Hello everyone, it's me, Ivan, also known as Ivan. So, I have something for you today. Now, a lot of you have seen my character arc, my Yu Gi Oh arc, as of late. You've seen me play on stream, Yu Gi Oh Master Duel, and even seen me go in locals. Now, I was able to top in a local tournament, and it's been interesting to see how, as I've gone against other people that are way more experienced, they have been regional champions and everything, um, how have gotten my ass kicked. But it's been a learning process. And here's the thing, a lot of you guys, whenever I play Master Duel Yu Gi Oh! You seem to be like, oh, I wish I understood what the fuck is happening at this moment. And this is why I'm here to do a little mini series for the channel for anyone that would like to learn to play Yu Gi Oh! Specifically on Master Duel. So I want to show you how to play Yu Gi Oh! And how to also play Master Duel, because there's two different kinds of Yu Gi Oh! The TCG, which is the actual rules that are happening in the world, and the OCG, which is what happens in Japan. The rules on the US TCG are a little bit different, not necessarily different, just the ban list of cards are different than the ones in Japan, so you need to adapt. And the ban list in Master Duel is a little different than the one in the TCG, but Master Duel I think is a fantastic resource if you want to get into the game, and then obviously practicing it in real life will be absolutely fantastic for you. So let's quit my yapping and let's go into Master Duel. Now, this is Master Duel right here. You can get it for free on Steam. And the first thing that you're going to see is that the moment you start doing anything on Master Duel, whether being playing the solo missions or just going on random duels here and there, you're going to get a lot of gems. The gems are these little things. Obviously, you can pay a shit ton of money in order to get them, because that's how you get cards. But from the get go, the game will give you a bunch of gems. So it's going to be better for you to have an idea of the type of deck that you want to build from the get go. Um, Before jumping into anything. And I have a couple of suggestions of decks that you can play. But we will get to that in a very different lesson. Let's begin with the very basics, the cards. So this is lesson one, the cards. Knowing what type of cards and knowing what type of anything they have. So let's go to a deck. This is a deck that I built. This is a dinosaur deck that I built. So let's understand the type of cards before we actually get to the playing. So let's understand. Number one, we have the white basic cards. These cards are as basic as a white girl asking for a pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. You can see that the coloring is it's a little like pale, and you can see that it's got stars, and no, they're not Dragon Balls. And here we have a little brown thingy, and then we can see right here it says dinosaur and normal. Yes, this thing is normal, meaning that it doesn't have any effect. The attribute is earth, so this thing is a type earth, just like Pokemon. Think of it like that. Now, the 4 stars, meaning that it's a level 4 monster, as opposed to, like, for example, this other dinosaur. He's also type attribute Earth, but he's got 6 stars. That is going to become helpful later down the road. But just know that the level, the attribute, and the type is very important. He is also a dinosaur, and it's normal. But as you can see, this guy is significantly beefier than the other guy. So you can see that this guy has attack points and defense points. Every single monster, just like our basic friend over here, has attack and defense points. The attack points 1500, defense 800. Pretty much every time you go against a monster, you need to look at the position that the monster is in. If the monster is positioned vertically, like this, let me show you, it means that you need to look at the attack points. If it's positioned like this, horizontally, then you need to look at the defense points. That's the main difference between attack and defense. If you didn't know, the main goal is to get your opponent's life points, which you start with 8,000, to 0. And the way to lower those life points is by destroying attack positions monsters or attacking directly to your opponent. But we're not going to get into that just yet. What are the other type of cards that we have? We have the effect monsters. For example, we have this little guy, and as you can see, the card is a little bit more tan. It's spicier like Mexicans. So we have another Babysaurus. What is the attribute? Earth, level 2. But he says dinosaur and effect. So it's got an effect. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, a special summon one level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. So we know that this guy, when it's destroyed by a card effect, does something. So that's how you can start to build your own strategy. That's the whole premise of Yu-Gi-Oh! That there is thousands upon thousands of cards at your disposal, and you decide what type of a strategy you want to do, what type of cards you want to play. Now, there is way, 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 way too many structured decks that are already pre-built for you to just get a hold onto the game. And I will get into those later, but just know that you don't have to just go in blind and then start to figure out, oh, well, what am I going to do? No, that's not the case. There's a lot of help for you to get a hold into the game. Now, as you can see, we have other monsters. Also a level 4, attribute Earth, dinosaur, and it's got an effect too. So, now that we know what now that we know what a monster, normal, and or effect are, let's go into these green cards. These green cards are spell cards, and it's a normal spell. And then we have the pink cards. They're trap. Now the main difference between a trap card and a spell card is when can you activate them. Spell cards can normally be activated on your turn, whenever you want to on your turn, usually. Trap cards are activated during your opponent's turn or during your turn after you've waited one turn after setting them down face down. So just remember that there's different timing for the spell and traps to be activated, and we'll go over that in a future lesson, but just know that the timing is different. But there's not necessarily a way for you to there's not necessarily a way for you to say, oh, spell cards can only be activated during this time, or trap cards can only be activated during this time. There's rules to them, but just know that the main difference is that the trap card needs to be set down and wait one turn before activation. But at the end of the day, both cards will help you to duel better, to support your deck and everything. For example, this normal spell card, add one level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. Very simple, very easy. This is a normal trap card. When a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, except during the damage step, special summon one dinosaur from your hand. Probably that meant nothing to you because we don't know yet the stages of the game, but don't worry. Really, do not worry. We'll get to that. Right now, what I want you to focus on are the four different types of cards. Normal monster, effect monster, spell cards, and trap cards. That's it. That's all I want you to focus on right now. That's literally it. If there is one thing I want you to take from today, is that those are the main cards. Those are the main components of every single deck. Are you with me so far? Good. All right. So, oh, that was a big sneeze. Anyways, so what we want to focus now is on the type of cards that are within those cards. For example, we have this. It's a spell card, but you see it's got a little symbol? It's because it's a field, meaning that when you activate it, it's going to stay on the field and it's going to give you a general advantage. All dinosaur type monsters gain 300 attack and defense points. So you can see how this can be useful because immediately from the get-go, all of your dinosaurs are going to be significantly stronger. Now, what are other type of spell cards? We have this one. You see it's got like a little cross. It's an equip. If the equipped monster battles an opponent monsters while that monster is on the field, its effects are is negated during the battle phase only. So what does that necessarily mean? It means that this card can only be used with one monster that you decide to equip. So instead of like a field card, like this one, that is a general to all, this other one, this effect can only be applied to one dinosaur or one monster that you choose because it's an equip. It's like giving it an extra weapon. And then we have this, a quick spell, a quick play spell. These cards can be used in a timely manner where you decided to either use this from the hand during your turn or if it was set and use it as a type of trap card. All this timing will make sense when we actually get into the duel. But you can see how there's different types of cards and you need to make sure that whenever you're building your deck, you pay attention to the type of cards that they have. Now, you're probably wondering, are there any more symbols? Yes, for trap cards too. For example, we have this one with this infinite, continuous. It is a trap, but it's continuous and it has an effect too. But what does it mean that it's continuous? It means that once you use it, it stays on the field until you can until the effects are fulfilled or they're destroyed, or like for example this one, when that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. So this will remain on your field. It's not just a single use. Like for example this one too. It's a continuous trap. Activate this by targeting one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. So, until that monster is gone, this thing will stay in your field, as opposed to a normal trap card, which is going to just be of one use and then it goes to the graveyard. Then we also have cards like this one, Counter. For example, when a monster would be summoned or a spell trap card is activated, pay half of your life points, negate the summoner activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So pretty much a counter is a response to something that your opponent is doing. So for example, you have stuff that they're doing and you say, no, I don't want you to do that because that's gonna be mean for you to do. Here's a counter. So before they can do anything, you negate it, you counter it. Does that make sense? Cool. So now you've seen all the different types of cards that exist in Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, obviously there's more and everything, but we'll get into that later. Don't worry. We will get into that later. So, with that, I'm going to finish today's lesson. Today's lesson will finish with that. Just remember, normal monster, effect monster, spell card, trap card. Those are the names that I want you to remember. All right. I will see you next lesson. Bye.